everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Team Take. I'm your host Kavya Bharadwaj, and let me start with a confession. So, mango has been a fruit I absolutely adore. I can eat 20 mangoes a day if I could.
Mangoes, mangoes, mango.
Honestly, I believe that even as an economic student, and no matter how impractical it is, I think the global wealth should be measured in mangoes. But seriously, India's mango exports were just hit with a massive problem. Japan has officially stopped taking our mango shipments because they found toxic contamination in some of the consignments. They quarantined them, ran tests, and just completely suspended imports. That's the big headline right now. But if you look closer, it isn't just Japan, and it isn't just mangoes. Lately, it feels like a domino effect. The US refused over 2,600 Indian shipments due to salmonella and bacteria. Singapore and Hong Kong rejected our spices because of high contamination levels, and the EU has been turning away our seafood for failing safety standards. So let's break down the economics of why this is actually a huge deal. When a country exports goods, it earns foreign currency. If those exports suddenly drop, less foreign money flows in, which seriously hurts our trade balance. Now, you might think that hey, the rupee has depreciated a bit. Doesn't a weaker currency make our exports cheaper and more attractive overseas? Normally, yes, 100%. But that's basic economics 101. That rule, however, only works if buyers actually trust your goods. If they think your food is toxic, a cheaper price tag means absolutely nothing. Once an importing country loses trust in your food safety, they stop buying. Short term, that means immediate lost income for farmers, packers, and export companies who are suddenly facing cancelled contracts and legal penalties. But long term, a damaged reputation is incredibly expensive to fix. Buyers don't just run back the second you lower prices. Rebuilding that trust requires strict testing, new certifications, and slow, painful diplomatic negotiations. So, what actually went wrong? To keep it simple, it usually comes down to these three things: pesticide overuse on farms, terrible storage conditions, or bad hygiene in the packing houses. For instance, with spices, wrong storage temperatures can spike ethylene levels, which is a gas tied to ripening. And things like salmonella happen when there is unsafe handling or contaminated water during processing. And this is where the economics flips right into politics and governance. Import bans are just as much about politics as they are about science. Governments have massive domestic pressure to protect their own citizens. So, when this happens, our government should be acting fast, testing transparently, publishing results, and stepping in to help the farmers who are losing their livelihoods. But instead, there's been barely any public acknowledgement. Think about it. If the news channels aren't covering this, people don't put pressure on leaders to fix the system. When a crisis happens in secret, it completely breaks down media accountability. Which brings me to a bit of a philosophical question for us to chew on. If the absolute best premium quality produce that we look forward to exporting is being rejected for being contaminated, what does this say about the food we're eating right here at home? If we send our quote unquote top tier stuff abroad and it's deemed unsafe by international standards, how safe is the rest of the batch left in our local markets? It really brings you to question what we value as society and who is looking out for our well being. To fix this, we really don't need a miracle. We just need straightforward accountability. We need better data tracking to trace chemicals back to the exact farm they came from. We need to invest in safe cold chain storage. And most importantly, we need government transparency instead of silence. At the end of the day, exports aren't just numbers you see on a spreadsheet, some random data, but they are real people's jobs. And our national reputation is on the line. And moreover, what ends up on your plate. And honestly, if the top quality stuff we export can be rejected for safety, it should make us all ask, what are we actually eating at home? That's not panic, it's demand for accountability. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you liked it, share it with your friends. Ask your family what they think about the food on their plates. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye.
Mangos, mango, mango.